Hi, it's Karen. I just wanted to let you know that I have a new video that has just been released. It's called Sexy for the Money. I wrote this a while back, and it is about in present times how, since post COVID, how a lot of people, even during COVID, had struggled financially. And I want to tell a little bit about this. What inspired me to write it is that at first, I thought women that were going in online and selling photos of themselves were making good money. And then I researched more and more on the subject, and I found that there are women that aren't making so much money. So I felt that status thing became very unfair. And I thought, well, of course I'm excluded. I've modeled when I was younger, and I had the option. I did lingerie. I did all kinds of things, and I don't like. I was glad I did it because during my worst times, when I felt bad about my body, I reflected on those times and thought, yes, I'm beautiful. I'm considered as voluptuous. And some people also find myself and my body image as sexy. Some people don't find my body type attractive. And there's all different kinds of body types that we have as women and as human beings. So, yeah. And I thought to myself, like, what are the standards set for women now? Like, basically, women are kind of, they couldn't find any other profession that would accept them, and it could be esteem, sometimes what society considers as sexy. So for some societies, they're all different because the cultures are different. Sometimes they'll find a woman who's completely covered up sexy. Sometimes a woman in a bathing suit is considered sexy. you know there are a lot of different definitions. And so I thought to myself, wow, like, what do you got to go through to get a designer purse? So that I wrote Sexy for the Money because there are so many women, and including myself, that have. I didn't compromise my values. I had limits, and I set those limits with the photographers when I work with them. And also too, it's like, I didn't want to, I have no interest in going into porn. I'm a mature woman now, and there are the odd few women that are really up there in age and they're doing it, and if they're considered as hot, all the power to them. And some people do, there are some men on the planet that really enjoy mature women. They'd rather be around a mature woman, not because they think the sex is better. That's sometimes their first initiative. So I, yeah, I don't have any plans. Like I said, I don't do porn. I I have done some adult themed work like modeling lingerie, bathing suits, that sort of thing, and I'm fine with that. I've been, like, I'm fine with nudity too. And also too, there are different types of explicit imagery that you can view, but that, I'm not going into the sex trade. I have no interest. I never had any interest in doing that. So, but I do believe that men and women, a lot of them are very beautiful creatures, and why not view them? Why not enjoy their shape? So that's okay too. There are men that prefer big women, like really the BBW women. They prefer that. They like a lot of flesh and a lot of fullness in women, and there are a lot of women with different preferences as well. It's a part of the human experience. So, yeah, I'm excited about my new release. I think it turned out beautiful, and the model that is based on my image is of photos of me wearing a camisole. So yeah, I'm enjoying that. I wanted to express that because I've been in the music industry. I've been in modeling with photographers for over a decade and a half, and I never got noticed because, well, one sense I went into roots of music where you wouldn't really get noticed. You're just like an independent musician in a coffee shop, and you're lucky if you get a gig like that or a community gig. So that's kind of where I sat. I did try to get into Nashville, but that didn't work out. It would have entailed me moving there, and I wasn't prepared to. And I thought about moving to Texas at one point, but everybody and that goes there thinks that they're going to make it, and it's the very few that actually do. There might be a handful of people that make it, and there's been a handful of Canadians that went down at a particular time where it was safe to go back and forth in the border, and you could go and get a gig, or you can get like a menial job that nobody wants. You could go there, and the chances of you getting picked up are still very narrow, but there has been some. So I didn't want to do that. I thought about immigrating to other countries at different points, and I just thought, no, I'm safer here. I'll stay here. And that's kind of where I went. So yeah, I know I do tend to go on a lot, but yeah, so that's why I did it. Part of is that I think that kind of expression is okay just as long as it doesn't get out of control. Like, I'm not that up there twerking in my video or twerking on stage. Like, I'm not trying to entice that. I'm singing about it because a lot of people associate in entertainment you have to practically do a sex act on stage in order to be able to make any money. So that's kind of a statement of that within itself. And for women in the industry, even some men too, even some trans people, so it's part of me. It's all come to that. And, you know, I've worn very modest costumes depending on the style and the type of music that I've done, and that was my own prerogative, and that was my own choice as an independent. Nobody said, "Oh, you need to wear a sexy costume or be like Cher or very flamboyant and very provocative." Let's just say. So there isn't anything wrong with that because that's entertainment. You go to Vegas and there are dancers there and shows, and they don't have any tops or topless, or they're completely naked. so, so really when it comes down to it, I'm proud of the work that I do. I'm really proud that I actually have my videos on Vimeo now. And it's been a very, very long road. And I'm definitely, like a lot of people haven't heard of me, of course, not an overnight sensation either. Like, I've been in this, and I think it would be ridiculous. Like, I wouldn't go in the sex trade because it's just like I don't want that kind of experience. I think like some women, in order to be able to keep the money coming in, they do things that they don't want to do, and they end up doing them anyway because they need the money to keep coming in. Like, that's how they're making a living. So as an adult that has experienced a lot of challenges in health and this sort of thing, it's better that I protect myself because, like, I experienced abuse from a partner when I was really young, And that's taken me years to be able to process it and deal with that. And there are abusive partners out there. And that's the last thing I want in my life, especially at this point in my life. I want to be in a very healthy, loving relationship that's possible. So, yeah, there's some sites that have said that I'm a lesbian and I'm not a lesbian. I've never had that experience ever. I've had models come on to me and I've just said thank you. No, I know it in rock stars too. It's it's not you, it's me. Because I just didn't feel comfortable and I didn't want to experience that level of intimacy where it's just wham bam, thank you ma'am, good night, or one night or whatever. I wanted to be in a genuine relationship. So I avoided them at one point because I was just trying to make something of myself. I would still do that. And I like to see like people with disabilities. Some are independent enough where they can be sexual, and others no, they need to be protected. So that is one important thing. And now more disability people are in the arts, are expressing themselves through music, through spoken word or whatever. So if one person who's a disabled person, they want to be in sexy lingerie in a wheelchair, there isn't anything wrong with that either. So it's your own limitations and what you want to express. And I tried to a number of different things, and a lot of that didn't even go noticed. And I'm not doing this to get noticed. I'm expressing myself because I feel that I'm also a sexual being capable of having sex. I've been asexual for a good part of my life. I've had different boyfriends. I've had a few long-term relationships and just dating, but nothing very serious because of my status and because of what I've experienced with my body. So gradually those things are changing. But the thing is that I thought, no way. And when I was being abused, that man was trying to push me into the sex trade. He's trying to push me to be with other partners. And then I got to the point I thought, this is going against my values, and I had to end the relationship in order to protect my being from being abused any further. There is a thing called sexual abuse. So that's why I would be very skeptic to want to go into that kind of trade, because you can choose at some places how far you want to go, and I'm not interested in that. It's like you do one thing and then you're encouraged to do another. And some women, they are coerced and a lot of them, it's not even their own choice. So yeah, it's like I wouldn't have that kind of success. But I have had very limited success in music. I am recognized as a music artist just as much as I'm sometimes more so a visual artist, and I've always liked that. And I've been able to express myself in creativity in a number as a interdisciplinary or in a number of different ways. So that's either through film, photography, that's exploring different materials. And and then now AI is a new field that's being opened. Before it was new media. And again, I stressed before in a previous video, AI has existed for a very long time. It just wasn't fast, and it's in a number of embedded in a lot of software. So it's hard to distinguish what is what anymore because they just keep getting new labels all the time. So anyway, yeah, I'm just really glad I've gotten to this point and to be able to do something like that, because a lot of my work is, well, it's all unique and it's all different. It's expressions of my experience in a number of different forms, and I think that is okay. When you're an artist, you're continually growing, you're continually working at your craft, and you're continually evolving, and you're also using a number of different tools. So I like to be able to, I've always, like, in the past decade, I've expressed myself at the very minimum in videos and putting out music. And sometimes I just wanted people to use their imagination and just not do videos and just have them listen to the music. But because our culture is so, like, videos tends to validate a person. So I thought at one point I debated about it and the expense involved too. So I thought, well, I'll see what I can do at a minimum if I can get something out. And, it is of professional quality. So I'm happy about that as an independent. Again, I I didn't stay or want to. I wasn't signed, but I did. I'm considered as unsigned, but I did join a couple music companies. And when it came to the point when they wanted to own everything, including my intellectual property, where, I'm one of the writers and I'm not getting any credit or any pay for that, so to speak, like it's put in the mix. And I just didn't want it to be owned like that. And there are a few artists that have come out of that and they end up, like, having to find other means in order to be able to buy their masters back and all this stuff. So you hear all different kinds of stories in music, with the artists, what they experience. And a lot of artists, if they leave a major label and try to do stuff on their own, then they disappear and become nothing, because they're no longer in the mainstream media or accepted by the mainstream media. So it's all like corporate controlled. And I understood that fully. And I didn't feel like I had anyone working in my best interest. So I just wanted to do things on my own, not for a means of control. It just, I didn't want others controlling my fate or my destiny or anything like that. So yeah, and really, I don't have to explain. I'd rather leave it up to the viewer, but some people, they'll look at one thing that I put out and they can take it in the wrong context, and that's the last thing I want. I'm making more, expressing society with my music, and then also with my paintings too. It's like what I feel moved by. And there are a lot of things that I see and experience, but I don't necessarily write them into lyrics or poetry or put it into the form of a picture. But I'm just experimenting with these materials and seeing, can I eke out a decent living even doing any of this stuff? It's really, it's challenging to do. It's very time consuming and it can cost. So I think the costs are going to get better for artists. But then again, the market does get oversaturated. So I've been talking straight for 19 minutes. So anyway, if you have the patience to listen to what I have to offer, then wonderful. I will try to minimize, but I'm on my own here. I don't have, a script in front of me. I just talk. So I'll, if I need to be more scripted and edit my time a lot better, or your time considerations, I'll try to do that. But I'm just getting my content out there. And yeah, I am quite proud of the work that I've accomplished and what I've done and what I'm going to keep coming out with. And it's not all the same. That's the thing about being an artist. So yeah, today I was a little bit disappointed. I found out that Beck is coming in September. And though there are tickets available still, even though the show is sold out, there are tickets that are still available, but they're in the very high numbers range. And I'm not that kind of artist where I could get out there. But yeah, Beck was one of my influences back in the 90s. I heard of him and got into his stuff, and I thought he was very unique, and I really enjoy that. He's been working with orchestras. That's really wonderful. And there are a lot of other artists that have influenced, but I don't have any I'm not on any coattails. Like, I just try different things out and whatever comes to me. So, and again, my voice can be altered in the studio. Sometimes it's my natural voice, sometimes it's an altered voice in the mix. I'm fine with that to a certain degree, but I don't know about performing anymore. We'll just see how I feel. But other than that, at least I am getting some content out there, and there are people that collect what I do and enjoy what I do. Like, I had a bigger following at one point, and then yeah, I don't really want to get into that, but and then it kind of changed and it went a little bit more intimate and a little bit smaller, and I was okay with that. The thing is that the costs involved in even trying to come out with anything don't always measure up to what you're getting paid. So sometimes it's like, oh, is this worth doing it? But at least I'm in the loop. I'm part of the process and I enjoy what I do. And that's okay. And, if I get a few more people that support what I'm doing, then wonderful, And yeah, and I've supported independent music for maybe 20 years now. I used to, now I'm getting older. I don't like to go out at night as much, and that's kind of the lifestyle here. A lot of people don't go out late at night anymore, and that's okay. That's acceptable. And I think at this point in my life, it's like I'm really trying put an effort into taking care of my health. My health comes first. And so I can't do a lot of late night parties. So this industry, for what it was, it's just not for me. So I hope you can appreciate that for what I'm doing and can really enjoy the content that I put out. And if you don't like it, that's fine too. So that's what I do. And I'm just grateful that I'm able, I look back and I reflected today, and some things because of illness didn't work out. I wasn't able to perform. I wasn't able to perform live, and that's not my fault. It's better than that than even not being here at all. So that's kind of where I am with that. Anyway, thank you so much, and I hope you enjoy the new video. And yeah, it's called Sexy for the Money. And yeah, it's something different again. And yeah, I hope it really takes off. See how it goes. And if it's just a few people that like it, that's okay. But I'm trying to see what other formats I may get into. And I think there's I think humanity has really changed in recent years, and I think the boundaries, I think human dignity is one of the most important values that we need to have. And I think, some people, they feel that there is nothing wrong with them expressing themselves, but other people have limitations too, and that needs to be respected. So how far you want to push the envelope kind of thing. So yeah, and there's some people, they're quite open in what they're doing, and they have polyamorous relationships, and there are people that have different partners throughout their lifetime. So society has changed, and it's a lot different, and it's not the same in different parts of the world. Of course, there are different cultures and all this sort of thing. So yeah, and I'm in part of Western culture, and some of these things are acceptable, and yeah, and I have limitations as to what I really want to do. So yeah, you're not gonna find me in an adult film anytime soon. I hope that I'm not known well enough where, somebody's using my image to do explicit things without my permission, because there's no way. I just don't want to go that far. So I need to be able to protect myself as a vulnerable adult. And I also need to have limitations, and yeah, And whatever my private beliefs are, I hope they're respected just as much as someone else's private belief system, wherever that takes you. So anyway, have a good one. That's enough for me. Bye.